Most people can feel it now. Something about work is off. Companies can't hire, people feel stuck. The old advice isn't working anymore. The problem isn't effort, it's that we're still playing the old game in a new game world. This is New Game, Old Game, a new podcast about work, skills, leadership, and what it actually takes to win now. Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the New Game, Old Game podcast. This is our pilot episode. We've talked about this project and this work for a long, long time, and we're finally here, excited to share our thoughts on this work and bring this conversation to you and invite you into it. And that's really, I think, one of the things we want to be the most about is that we want to ask good questions around work and workplace and culture and trades and vocations and life and work and how all those pieces go together. And by no means do we have or anticipate having the best answers to the questions that are before us, but we are committed to exploring those questions, right? And we want your involvement along the way. We want your questions to be raised. We want your questions to be answered. We want you to join the discussion. So we're so thrilled that we can do this, that we can take this to you and share this with you as we talk about new game, old game, and how the exciting things that are happening at No Alumni with our team, with our partners, with our network can really uh, support the evolution and transformation that is happening all around us in the world of work.
Let's get into it. Just kidding. No, that was good, Matt. Awesome to be here. You want to introduce yourself and maybe 35 minutes about your background starting from where you're born up to present day?
Yeah, I
Don't
think
do
you
that.
meant 35 seconds.
Yeah.
That would be too much.
Go for it.
I'm Matt. This is Greg. We're part of the No Alumni team, and we are the New Game, Old Game podcast. We're your hosts and your guides in this discussion, and we're both really interested in how we can usher in a greater era of vocational life for the people that we know, for the people that we know we'll meet in the coming months and years. So we're honored to be able to have this conversation.
Yeah, 100%. Great to be here, Matt. You're our de facto host as of right now. Unless he does a bad job, then it will switch to me. But I think so far this will be hard to beat. So I'm Greg Snyder. Happy to be here with my buddy Matt. Everything he said. If you look at our background behind us, it looks really nice. It's a professional background. It will get no better. If you look around our corporate headquarters here, it looks like a 1998 Olive Garden. So I'm waiting for breadsticks to be delivered, and I don't think that's happening. So, but thankful for this place, this time, these lights, the electricity, just the ability to do this. Talking about all the things that Matt had talked about, and really our thoughts are that no matter what path you choose, Matt, Notre Dame graduate, myself. I tried Kent State, and I think it was there for about 3 weeks, and it just wasn't for me. Very different backgrounds. We come together to, I don't know if it's help fix the problem, if it's to start conversation, helping young people, helping, I think, the current educational system and whatever that turns into, and certainly businesses kind of adjust to the new game that's going to have to be played here if they want to stay relevant and attract people and keep good people and places for that upcoming workforce, right? That would be happy and excited to join and be a part of. And also, I would say I want to talk about this a lot, and I think maybe we will at some point. But entrepreneurship, like we love that too. Like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Matt. I mean, I know you're the college guy. You don't necessarily have to go to college and get a business degree to start a business. Um, doesn't hurt, I don't think, certainly, but I think more than ever. So we're all about that too.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to hear as we discuss new game, old game, our thoughts on that. And as we share about No Alumni, the work that we've really hitched our wagon to, there is no one right path, and there is no um, set prescription or set path that's right for people generically and people broadly to follow. And that's one of the things we love about no alumni is that a certain prescription or a certain path doesn't have to define us. There are other things that maybe could define us, but as we'll see, um, the traditional college to career path has really changed quite a lot over the last 10 to 20 years. And that's one of the things we want to talk about a lot. We feel like we're on the front edge of that shift that we have seen, we've experienced the challenges that colleges and universities across the region and across the country are going through as things with the upcoming generation are changing, as things with funding at the state and federal level change. We really see that traditional college to career and the college and university revenue model as broken, outdated. And so that's why we're here. Is we want to answer the tough questions around that. We want to discuss the realities of what else could be instead of or in lieu of that traditional college to career path. Um, I was gonna say this really does feel like an Olive Garden. I'm almost waiting for someone to refill my Diet Coke, but it hasn't happened yet.
Some
So,
cheese with some cheese on your salad.
yeah,
Yeah.
just
Tell me when to stop.
you make them crank until their hand hurts,
Yeah,
and
never stop the cheese.
never stop the cheese. That's on a bumper sticker on my car for
Love it.
sure.
So yeah, I think as we're talking, I'm thinking a couple things I wouldn't mind maybe talking about because this is kind of where this one's going. This podcast, it's not going to be like a big advertisement for no alumni. That's not the goal. The goal would that this would highlight people's stories, get conversation going. Certainly, we can share what work we're doing and how kind of our thoughts. But I think this kind of as an introduction to you all, right, is important to kind of get out there. And I see no alumni. I went to a football game with this guy, and it's weird. I'm not this guy that likes every football team, or I have two favorite teams. I don't really, but in this case, I like both teams, which is weird. So we went to a Pitt Notre Dame game a few weeks back, and Notre Dame absolutely just clobbered them. It was an unspeakable score, never to be spoken of again in Pittsburgh, I'm sure. But it was just neat. Matt, being a Notre Dame grad, like without people knowing Matt, they would pat him on the back, give him high fives, go green. And it's like that camaraderie, whether they're the same age or not, like they have that camaraderie. And I don't know if that's the right word, Matt. There might be a different word, but like just that togetherness that Notre Dame brought to that. So you guys know each other, but you don't know each other. And I think that's what, I guess, if someone said, what is your big picture idea, or like what's something that you see you'd love to be a thing, is that people that didn't go to college or follow that traditional path or went to a 2-year degree, whatever it is, something non-traditional that we can maybe at some point in maybe a same situation, fist bump, high five, pat each other on the back and say, no alumni, like proud to be that. And I was, when I got out of high school, I was in some ways ashamed of myself, I think in some ways, but also people, weren't the biggest supporters of you're not going to college. And no, I'm not. And it just made me feel less than, and no one should feel like that. So, and at some point, maybe if it's relevant, I went to my first college graduation last weekend, which is interesting because I'm almost 50 and I've never been to a college graduation. So maybe just share my thoughts on that and kind of what I see. And I think for no alumni and for our listeners and viewers moving forward.
Yeah, and I want to take a quick second and allow us to say just about our discussions here, this podcast, the exploration we're going to do together. I want it to be clear, we are not anti-college. We're not anti uh, traditional work or traditional vocation. We recognize that for some people, college is the right step. For me personally, college was the right thing. There's a lot of disciplines in society and in our communities where college is essential. If somebody's going to cut you open as a surgeon, or somebody's going to create medicine that's going to be ingested and serve humanity on a scale where that's relevant, think of the importance of the right kind of study, the right kind of knowledge, the right kind of scrutiny that goes into those professions and many professions. Um, so I guess we just want to be clear: we're not against college. We're not really even only for one thing A or thing B or thing C. What we're here to do is talk about all the vocational paths that are before us. Consider consider what assumptions maybe from days gone by don't apply in the same way anymore, or what's becoming more relevant than it used to be, if certain things are making a comeback and a renaissance. And I think they are in a lot of ways, with hands-on skills and certain trades and things that, even in this great age of technological advancement, things that technology can't touch or can't replicate, we see a prime value on those kinds of things. I just want to make the point that we're equal opportunity, and that this discussion about new game, old game is for everybody. We're not anti any one thing. We're not even pro any one thing per se, other than being on this journey of exploring, hey, in this day and age, what's the new game? What does the new game demand, so that families, business owners, community leaders, people who live in proximity to other people, people who have influence, are really maximizing their time, they're maximizing their talent, and they're living the lives that they want to live, that really gives them the fulfillment of great productivity and the fulfillment of having great joy while they live out their vocational life. So we're committed to having, we're committed to having honest conversations about work, talent, culture, skills, and the reality of this economy today and the world today. And really, we are two people thinking about these things out loud in a way that we trust and believe will be interesting to you, add value to you in your own journey as well.
That's a lot of words, Matt. It's the most words I've ever heard you speak in a row.
Oh,
That's good. No, speaking of close proximity, we're very close here. So we're trying to man spread here, and we're kind of touching knees here. So
we're not
this
little
is
guys either.
this is our this is definitely our ideal setup, that to be this close with a computer. And so
Olive Garden.
at some point I feel like leather chairs, cigars, maybe, it's going to be nice, but this is nice for today. I do want to just piggyback off that super quick. It takes all of us. So the doctors, the people with, 8, 10 year degrees, whatever that looks like, and the people that started at McDonald's yesterday, like none of us, I think if we have this posture, and I know it's a part of our ethos and our heart, is that, we appreciate everybody. We all need each other for this world to work, and everybody has value, inherent value. And I think that that's important, that we really believe that, no matter if you went to Notre Dame or you went to, school and learned how to paint, um, everybody has value, and your work is important. Yeah.
I'll just tell you about our background. The first time I met Greg, the stories he told me and the skill sets that he demonstrated to me, he blew me away, because he was a man I could tell instantly, a man of character, integrity, loved his family, loves God, and has skills, frankly, that I could only dream of having. And so I met this guy a couple years ago and had instant admiration. And just think of that. Uh, my view of him had nothing to do with really his educational background. It had nothing to do with his professional background per se, though I did really appreciate how this was a self-made guy who could do things, can do things that I could never do. I could never frame a wall or hang drywall. I can hardly paint a wall. My hard skills really stop when we talk about things like putting gas in a lawnmower and filling up my car. Past that, I need, I need the Gregs and all the other men and women who have skills that I don't have. And I know the inverse is true in some things for Greg. And like he said, it takes all of us. It really does. We we like the image of a body or of a team where we bring different things to the table, and we're stronger together than we are separate. Just like a body made of all feet wouldn't give you a great life. You wouldn't see the sunrise. You wouldn't see the mountains. You wouldn't see the lake, the ocean. You wouldn't see if you're all feet. Similar, like in a football team, if everybody's 400 pounds, uh, you don't have speed, you don't have somebody who can pass, you don't have somebody who has vision down the field, you're not going to really get where you want to go. You're not going to score more points than the other guys. You're not going to experience the fruits of your labor. And so it really does take it all, whether it's the body analogy, the team analogy, or me in a hazardous way, trying to paint a wall or finish some drywall. I need others, and I think we all need others. So that's a value that we'll continue to talk about, and we'll continue to champion that as we dive into new game, old game, and just know that that's part of our heart for these conversations. And we definitely have, I know it's a cliche, we could say, hashtag growth mindset, but we are on a growth journey here from the questions that we are asking and don't yet have answers to the setting of this first conversation in this Olive Garden lobby. We anticipate, growth. We look forward to growth, and we invite you into that journey with us. We don't want to stay where we are. We don't want to stay stuck in this lobby with no breadsticks and no refills.
It's no fun.
It's no fun. We wanna grow.
But it is starting, right? And everybody has to start. So I
Yep.
think if we're going to talk to young people and go into schools and businesses, like you have to start somewhere. And it's like we could have overthought this for the next 10 months, have all the right equipment and the right room, the background, and I think all those things will come in time, and this will be good to look at some point. But it's like
Mhm.
you got to start somewhere, and something I know my wife has told me, like you do well at doing it scared. And not that we're scared to be here. This is kind of fun, but like doing things you're not familiar with, it's okay because everybody that's an expert at something at one point was a complete novice. They sucked at it. Like I have no idea what I'm doing. So it's like it's that learning, it's that journey. I've had to reinvent myself a few different times in life as far as careers, and I don't feel like there's a day that goes by that I don't learn something or I grow. And there's days I take steps back. It's not some linear thing, right? But yeah, I think we're gonna discuss all that and be real. I think, say in 5 years, Matt, we're still doing this podcast. We've got 500 episodes under our belt. Um, uh, we'll look back on this. My goal is to never, ever, ever, ever be considered a guru or be someone that feels that they are better or superior or, hey, I have all the answers. I'm going to talk down to you. I don't respond to that stuff. The whole hustle culture and guru culture, I'd love to help kill that culture. I'm not, just not me. Um, but saying that, you're gonna get real people that are not gurus, but also have some good ideas and some good thoughts, and we wanna find you because 'cause we're not the only people here that have good ideas and good thoughts. We wanna hear from you and hear your stories, and, a lot of this is gonna be about people certainly local to us to start, people that just think differently. I met a woman the other day, Matt, it's a mother in a very, I would say in this area, a very prestigious area of town where you wouldn't think she would think like this, but she has a completely different thought and attitude towards education and the educational system.
Mm.
She's not anti it. She just has done her own thing and it's worked out amazing for her kids. And I think she's someone you wouldn't expect um, to be that way, and or to not to be that way, to think like she thinks, and
Mhm.
it's good. She's a little bit of a disruptor, which I really like. I like people
Mhm.
that aren't status quo. So I
Mhm.
think that'll be part of this too. And whether you agree with it or not, I still think it's good to listen, even if you don't agree. I think we've lost that a little bit with the political climate. Um, the ability to just have conversation and agree to disagree and learn from people that maybe think differently than you. I think having an open mind through this podcast and this journey will be important.
Yeah, we definitely can learn from one another, and we'll be true to that and champion that as we move through our conversations together. Well, as we close, we just wanna leave a couple things with you so that you kinda know about what's coming next and where we plan to go with these conversations. Um, as we've already said, by no means do we have answers to everything. We don't even have answers to many things, but what we are committed to is to having open and honest conversations, like we've said, conversations that convey value and dignity. And in a lot of the places where we don't have answers, we're going to bring guests onto this podcast that have experiences, that have educational backgrounds, that have hands on, real world life stories that they can share for our betterment, for the edification of everybody who's part of this journey with us. So we really look forward to having guests and visitors join us as we continue on this journey of the New Game, Old Game podcast. We're going to tell stories of transformation. We've already got stories lined up for you. We've already got guests lined up for you that are going to inspire you, that'll move you, that'll challenge you to think and learn in ways that you haven't before. So stick with us as we bring that to you in short order. We really believe this matters because we want to dignify people, dignify their contributions, elevate and honor people who are just like us and who are just like you, and you're a part of that. And as we do that, we'll build more sustainable, more joy filled, and more productive careers and vocations for everybody who's a part of this. So we think it's a can't miss. So we invite you to be on the journey with us. We invite you to share this with somebody who needs to hear it, somebody who maybe feels disenfranchised or maybe feels like they don't fit the system, feels like they haven't been really heard or understood or haven't been given the proper hearing or the proper chance to plug in vocationally, or even someone who doesn't know how to find their path. We want to be a resource. We want to help them. We want to be a blessing to them. So stick with us. We look forward to future conversations.
I
Um,
think if they've stuck this far, consider yourself an early adopter and a part of No Alumni, because this is a long way to go with this first podcast if you're still with us. And thankful that you know they are, which is kind of cool. So I think it's awesome. So
Absolutely.
we're almost there. We did it. We're gonna try to keep these also. I would say unless and we'll let you know, and you'll probably be able to see. But I think around 20 minutes is a good number for these podcasts. I feel like you get enough information there, and maybe we'll do it in parts if they get longer, but I think we're not here to talk for. I see podcasts as like an hour and 33 minutes. Like, wow, that just seems overwhelming. 20 minutes while you're driving. Hope to listen to us. And I don't know. It's going to be good.
It's going to be
You
great.
did great, Matt. You're like the man at this.
We're so excited to have you along for the ride. If you want to connect or you need any more information, a couple things you should know before we part. One is you can always send an email to connect@newgameoldgame.com, and somebody from our team will get your email, read your email, and respond accordingly. Also, we're gonna have show notes. If you're taking in this podcast in a place where there's show notes, we'll have links and information in the show notes. So give those a look, click on the links that will be helpful to you. And please, everybody says this, but especially for a conversation like ours that is new and burgeoning and kind of just born, we really value your thumbs up, like, 5-star review, and click the share and subscribe button on whatever platform you're following along here. We'd be really grateful for your support in that way as we launch New Game, Old Game, and do our best to support this transformation and revolution in the world of work. Thanks for being with us.